This is a BBL team report. Today's team, the Boston Crabs. The owner of the Crabs is Mona Moonluster, who is a new age crystal intuitive and psychic. She has a team policy. She will only allow players on her team and in her organization who have been born between June 21st and July 21st and are under the astrological sign of Cancer. Back in the 1980s, there was a coach by the name of Ernie Pantusso, but he passed away. 30 years later, Pantusso started speaking to a medium by the name of Patricia Rose. He spoke to her and told her he wanted to coach basketball again, even though he had been dead for 30 years. So Patty went to a woman that she had met at a solstice festival, Mona Moonluster, and told her she is supposed to coach her team. Mona asked her just one question. What is your astrological sign? When Patty answered, Cancer, she was hired on the spot. Recently, there has been friction between the coaching staff and the owner. You see, Mona Moonluster discovered that although Patty is a Cancer, Ernie Pantusso was not. This news infuriated the owner. Patty Rose contended that because she is a Cancer, it doesn't matter what sign Pantusso was because Rose says Pantusso was a Cancer in several of his past lives. The Crabs players recently sent a formal complaint to the BBL report, asking that sideline reporter Summer Bronskin be required to shave her pubic hair because she has been giving crabs to the Crabs. Hey, this story's about me. The board determined that I must show my incredible shaved nubile privates to the team's equipment manager before I can do any more interviews with the Crabs players. The Crabs play in a dome named after the famous Boston rock star, the Steven Tyler Dome, or more commonly referred to as the STD. The best player on the Crabs is Muhammad Naul, a 6'11" center from Nigeria. Naul has tremendous quickness and crafty moves for a big guy. Naul is a 4-time All-Star and 2-time All-Pro. A great scorer, Robert Baker, is a little unpredictable as he can have a tremendous game one night and not play very well in another game. Mona Moonluster blames it on Mercury in retrograde. Vladimir Chekristakov was born in Chernobyl, Russia, where he was exposed to radiation. After the exposure, a couple of strange things happened to him. First, he developed uncanny hand-eye coordination, which made him a deadly jump shooter, but he also started glowing. When he decided to defect to the United States, he smuggled part of his father's remains, his skull. Vladimir carries his father's skull in a duffel bag. He joined the Crabs, and when Mona Moonluster saw Vladimir's father's skull for the first time, she wanted it badly. She gave Vladimir enough money to convince him to hand over his father's skull to use in her ceremonies. Once Mona had one of these ceremonies in her backyard. There were torches and potions and several scantily dressed women dancing around the fire. Mona's neighbor saw them dancing around the fire and he got curious. He watched them from the bushes. The next morning, while he was taking out his garbage onto the street, he saw Mona and asked her, "What was happening last night in your backyard? Was that kind of a witchy kind of thing that you were doing?" he said. "Yes," she replied. Then he asked, "Should I be scared?" "Only if we are all naked. That means we're going to sacrifice a willing man, so you don't have anything to worry about until we show up on your doorstep naked and invite you over to join us." He quickly said, "It would be worth it." The Crabs have a Native American point guard named Byron in the Woods and a 7-foot-tall backup center, Hammond A. Green, shooting guard Marcus Elwood, and finally the point guard who was drafted in the 2023 season, Ricky Koo, who is only 4'11" tall, making him the shortest player in the BBL. In the upcoming draft, the Crabs need to find a player born under the sign of Cancer, but who does not possess the typical easygoing attitude that Cancers seem to have. Many experts believe the Crabs will choose ex-Marine Cornwall Flat Top, who, even though he was born with the typical Cancer attitude, it was trained out of him during his Marine Corps training. The BBL. It's mildly amusing.